right, here we go. Great Ace Attorney, Chronicles. Press any button. Continue. Yeah, episode 5, The Adventure of the Unspeakable Story. Investigation Part 1. That last trial was a doozy, so this one's gonna be nuts. Oh, The Hound of the Baskervilles. The Adventure of the Unspeakable Story, episode 5. A hound it was, but not sub 5. Break.
It's coming! Sholmes's cry pierced through the thick wall of fog around us. Wisps of vapor flowed over the pistol as I cocked it, and I waited, breathlessly, in the stillness. The silence lasted for what seemed an eternity, until, at last, it appeared. From the shadows of the cloud, an enormous beast sprang out upon us.
Hound.
A hound it was, but not such a hound
That's
as
more like
any
a wolf.
mortal has ever seen.
I-
Its eyes glowed with a smoldering glare. The whole of its ox-sized body was outlined in white-hot flames.
Ox, that's a big
Its
hound.
rumbling pant and hideous howl, so terrified was I that I began to tremble with fear. Look well, Wilson, Sholmes declared, gazing upon the mystical beast. For this is the diabolical hound of the Baskervilles.
Oh. That doesn't sound like a hound. Sounds not like a hound. Dogs are not as big as oxen. Oxen are very big. I know this because I used to play the Oregon Trail, and I died a lot to dysentery and things. Our first 2 months in London have passed by in a flash. Yeah, God, it's so weird to think. I mean, I guess I did play this quite a bit before, and then there was like a few months gap, but I didn't realize we were almost to the end of the game. In that disconcerting courtroom experience we were first thrown into on the day we arrived in the country, and in Soseki-san's terrible ordeal that had followed closely behind, we had emerged victorious. Yes, we did. However, there then came an abrupt end to our opportunities to appear in court. What? Which was hardly surprising, of course, since I was nothing more than an amateur, an unknown student of law from a faraway land. So life in our little office was very quiet. That is, until it was shattered one day by that fateful telegram. Oh, they had Telegram back then? I have Telegram on my phone as well. It's a messaging service. Okay, Naruhodo's Legal Consultancy. That's in my office in the upstairs portion of Herlock Sholmes' place. Knock, knock, knock. Oh, there's a lot more stuff going on here. Oh, we have a Daruma over there. Yeah, I don't remember most of the stuff being in the room. It was pretty empty before. That morning, I was woken by the unreserved knocking on the door by the telegram boy. But after he'd gone... Oh, hi. Susato-san's behavior became very obviously strange. Susato-san? Yes? Is it time to leave for the court already? Let me see. Oh, what case is it today? I don't think I'm scheduled to defend anyone at the moment, am I? Oh, no, of course not. How silly of me. But I think Iris said she would make us breakfast this morning. So shall we go down to Mr. Sholmes' suite? Yes! Iris makes the most delicious breakfast food. She does, doesn't she? And once our bellies are full, we can leave for court in fighting fit form. What? We're not. Why are we leaving for court? Let me see. What case is it today? Here we go again. Is she? Are you okay? So, what was it about? The telegram that was delivered this morning, I mean. Oh, a telegram? I don't know what you're talking about. Deflection already. Also, where's my... TV's kind of loud. Well, that's fine. As long as you guys can't hear it. Sorry, but you're not going to get away with that. Well, I didn't think I would. Okay. Actually, Don't give it a moment's thought. It's nothing. Nothing interesting. Boring, in fact. I still want to... Now it makes it seem like more like it's not any of those. It was just a boring old telegram. That's 3 times now she's tried and failed to convince me it was nothing. I promise that I'll tell you about it at some point. What does that mean? It's gotta be important. All right, I understand. Okay, what about Saseki-san? Please tell me he's not dead. I suppose Saseki-san will have arrived back in Japan by now, wouldn't he? Yes, I should think so. He left immediately after that terrible ordeal. Which would mean he should have completed the voyage already, or be just a few days away. Did you get a telegram about, like, a boat sinking or something? Like, tell me. A fortnight ago, we had a very long telegram for him. Do you remember? Complaining of seasickness. But by and large, it seems the voyage has been going well. Is something wrong, Naruhodo-san? I was just wondering, what might have become of Saseki-san had he stayed in London, that's all. You mean as regards to Lord Van Zeeks, the Reaper? Yes, I can't help wondering if seasickness would have paled into insignificance in that case. I mean, probably. Are you okay? Are you thinking about the Reaper? Did we get a telegram from the Reaper? What is it they say? That no one who stands in the dock can be saved from the Reaper, right? Oh yeah, the burning carriage. I remember that. That was the first case. Second case? First case? I don't even remember the other cases. Well, the last case I did was case 4. Case 1. Oh no, I think case 1 was against another version of Mr. Payne. Unless that was in regards to the burning carriage thing. Oh no, because the very first one was me defending myself from the murder of my friend. And it's been so long, I should probably rewatch my plays and figure out what the hell I'm talking about. Like the way that nightmarish trial ended on the very day we arrived in London. Even 2 months ago, the cause of that dreadful fire is still a mystery. Yes, but at least Saseki-san is safely out of the country now. Presumably that means that the curse of the Reaper can only take effect within the confines of the city of London, perhaps? Even if that's the case, it's a little comfort. I have a terrible sense of foreboding. If the legend of the Reaper is to be believed, it would mean he wields the sword of justice himself. Come to think of it, I wonder what he's been up to these past 2 months. I don't know, probably trying to figure out a way to beat you. Surely not wielding the sword against more acquitted defendants. No, I don't think so. Apparently, Lord Van Zeeks hasn't appeared in court once since our last encounter. Oh, he's probably thinking about things and the state of the world and stuff. Yeah, I forgot this game is kind of loud. There we go. Oh? Yes, in Saseki-san's trial, he's withdrawn from judicial services again, it seems. Really? Just like before, when he wasn't seen in court at all for several years. So it's just me who's had to face him in the recent spate of trials then. Ugh, just my luck. I wonder if luck doesn't come into it. Sorry, what was that? Oh, nothing. Never mind. What does that mean, Susato? Oh. Okay. I guess we're gonna go to the suite and eat some breakfast. Okay, Sholmes' suite. Hi, Lily. Iris. Sorry. Why did I say Lily? I apologize. Yes, there's too many names of people in this game that are names of people that I know, at least like the regular ones. Morning, Runo. Morning, Susie. That's... Good morning, Iris. Iris... What is it, Runo? What is that terrible noise. Sounds like a cat being strangled. Oh, that's Sholmes. Ah, yes. You noticed that, did you? Sholmes. Hurley isn't in his best form this morning, it seems. He's sad. Hello. Hello, Mr. Sholmes. Good morning. A good morning to die, perhaps. What? You good? Has something happened, Mr. Sholmes? You look miserable, and the way you were playing the violin before. My analytical mind is dead. Music is dead. The world is dead. Oh, well, that's a little... Damn this blanched existence! That's all it is, my dear fellow. Nothing of consequence. I'm afraid I don't understand. Well, Iris, isn't it time we ate some dry toast and insipid coffee for me, if it's not too much trouble? Meow! Cat! Look at it! Have we know this cat before? Oh, look, it's, Wagahai. Good morning, boy. Ow. That must be Upsy. That must be some sort of tiny door for cats to use. Well, you didn't, I guess maybe they don't have those in Japan. But how did it get there? Well then, everyone, time for breakfast. Oh, wonderful. Let me help you, Iris. Ugh, it would indeed be a fine day to die. I knew something looked different. Wait, something's missing from Mr. Sholmes' desk. Like a mess? Is it usually messy? Well. Oh, his machine. He had a machine? I don't even remember wanting to die. God, that's a good combo. You seem very unhappy. To be very unhappy this morning, Mr. Sholmes. What's happened? It used to be the case that in my hands, this violin sung like the dawn chorus. Its melissonant tones would make flowers bloom. It would? But now, the muses are unamused with me. The goddesses of music have thrown me over. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? For hours I have bowed, for days even. Though through the night I have endeavored to no avail. That sound, my tone, is lost. That brilliant, clear, unwavering tone, gone forever! No more recitals of unbridled emotion! Well, you haven't been practicing much lately, have you, Hurley? Don't worry. No, don't worry. I'm sure it'll come back to you in time. Heed my words, Mr. Naruhodo. The goddesses of the arts are fickle. One day they bestow genius on a man, and next they unmercifully withdraw it. Oh, dear. Ah! Why is this happening to me? If they take the turn I have for the violin from me, what is left for pity's sake? What is left? Deduction perhaps? Isn't that what you're known for? Well, he seems to be having a crisis of conscience. Mr. Sholmes, I don't like to pry, but, your desk looks rather empty today. Ah, well done, Miss Susato. Your observational skills do you credit. Oh, no, Mr. Sholmes, they pale into insignificance when compared to yours. I think he might have been sarcastic, Susato, but I don't know if he knows how to be sarcastic. You'd struggle not to notice, wouldn't you? Yeah. You mean Hurley's great analytoscope? That's at Windy Banks now. Sorry, it's at Windy Bank? No, Windy Banks, the pawnbrokery. Pawn? What? Wait, what? Yeah, are you poor? You mean you pawned that enormous machine of yours? It has some considerable value, you see. Quite undeservingly. But isn't it a very important machine for your work? I do wish you had consulted us if your situation had become so desperate. I should have gladly passed what little income I have to you. Dear madame, things are far from desperate. But the pawnbroker has your wonderful machine. How can it be anything but desperate? Making use of a pawnbrokery is quite ordinary here in London, I assure you. It is. It doesn't sound ordinary at all. It would seem that neither of you fully understand how pawnbroking works. Oh, what's to understand exactly? Okay, how pawnbroking... We're having a lesson today. What did you mean when you said we didn't fully understand how pawnbroking works? To the people of London, pawnbrokeries are akin to banks. Banks? Do you not know what a bank is? They have banks in Japan, I would hope. On Mondays, merchants relinquish their finest jackets and trappings to their pawnbroker of choice. With the money they receive in return, they are able to trade happily through the week. And then on Saturdays, they go to recover their things using the money they've earned. I had no idea. This has been a fascinating lesson for us. Everyone does it, you see, especially people in the inner London. And should they have money to spare, they would purchase another fine jacket. Not to wear, obviously, but to pawn should the need arise. Oh, how ingenious, I guess. So whenever we have something that's getting in the way, we leave it at Windy Banks, you see? Wait, why was it getting in the way? A pawnbrokery can be thought of as an extremely secure vault. Would have thought that even pawnbrokers are different here in Great Britain. Of course, you have to watch Hurley with it. Sometimes he pawns things he really shouldn't. Don't you, Hurley? What does it matter? The world is dead to me now. What are we looking at? I can't find it. Okay, let's look at his desk again. Oh. Look at Mr. Sholmes' desk. It's completely clear. Isn't that enormous machine usually on it? You can never hope to understand what goes on in the great detective's mind, Mr. Naruhodo. Why, next time we're invited, we may find he's vacated the entire suite. That's scarily plausible, actually. Well, what else is there to look at? There's all sorts on these shelves. Like, all sorts of things, maybe? Chemistry apparatus, books, papers, and lots of things I've never seen before. It's all heaped up so high, I can't help feeling that the whole lot is going to topple at any moment. Oh, it's such a charmingly untidy collection of paraphernalia, isn't it? Just looks messy to me, like my desk. But you, Mr. Naruhodo, must learn to tidy up after yourself. No favoritism there, then. Yeah. Okay, back this way. Fire's burning comfortably at the grate again today. It's a very different feeling to a Japanese hibachi somehow. Oh, look at that photographic print of a lady displayed on the mantelpiece. Could it be? Yes, it must be. It's the woman. Oh, how exciting. Is that supposed to mean something to me? Yeah, the woman. What woman? Looks like that huge metal chest is being used as a table for tea and coffee. It seems very sturdy, with an equally sturdy lock. Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't go around opening things. I always have to keep an eye on you, don't I? You're very mischievous. How did you come to that conclusion? There was just a lock. These are all mementos of Mr. Sholmes' past cases, I think. If he'd have been involved in my case, I wonder if the beefsteak from La Carnival would be on display here. A mystery shoe, a curious hammer, some mysterious dancing men, a bust of Napoleon. Ah, what an entrancing collection. Looks like an untidy assortment of junk to me, rather like what's on my own shelves. Well, you really ought to learn to keep your things in order, Mr. Naruhodo. No favoritism there at all? Okay, this is a running joke, like the step ladder situation in the other games. Oh, hello. That's a huge typewriter. To think of it, I haven't seen Iris doing much writing recently. But there's paper already set up in the typewriter. Look, as if she's about to start. That reminds me, when I mentioned that Iris was in the process of writing a full-fledged novel, Mr. Natsume was most impressed. Ah yes, Mr. Natsume. That's what I'll be doing too once I'm back in Japan, he said through tightly clenched fists and teeth. Yeah, he sure liked to clench things. That's a charming little white shelf, full of charming little bottles too. I bet they're full of poison. But the contents of them aren't quite so charming, it seems. Science is the future, Mr. Naruhodo. You can't deny it. I'm saving my money so that I can buy some chemistry apparatus as well. Law, chemistry, takedown throws. What diverse skills you boast, Miss Susato. As useful as they are, I'm not sure what my throwing skills are. That my throwing skills are worthy of inclusion in that list. No, I mean, they're pretty good. Another tea set. Iris's beautiful tea set is there on the table as usual. A cup of one of her special herbal blends always seems to help me relax when I'm feeling the strain. The English pastime of tea has many similarities with our own tea ceremony customs, don't you think? It's the idea of hospitality behind it. That's the essence of tea. Sure. Should probably talk to Iris, see what the heck's going on. Oh, cool, yeah. Wagahai. Mr. Natsume's cat seems to have settled into his new home then. Oh, yes, and I've become very attached to little Waggy. It would appear his previous owner is completely forgotten to him. Cats are unfeeling creatures. Their mews as empty as the hearts of the muses. Man, you're having a bad time. If Mr. Natsume had no intention of taking Waggy back to Japan, I wonder why he kept him in the first place. I expect he would have taken him if he could. The pets are strictly forbidden aboard steamships in our experience. And for good reason. Terrible things can happen if the rules of passage are not obeyed. Well, I don't mind, because Waggy is adorable. Meow. Yes. Yes, he really is. Oh, yes. What about the door? I don't remember seeing that tiny thing in the main door before. Where did that come from? Oh, I installed it. Oh, you noticed? You are observant, Runo. Look, I use this. It's my latest invention. Is that a freaking automatic cat door maker? What is that? I call it the cat flap-o-mat. That's exactly what it is. Gosh, a machine for making doors just for cats? That's right. It can make a cat flap for a little furry friend like Waggy in seconds. And it can do it on any door at all, no matter what it's made of. It's very powerful, you see. That's terrible. No matter what it's made of, even if it's steel? Wouldn't it have just been quicker to make the cat flap rather than making a machine to make the cat flap? Well, yes, maybe, but now I can make cat flaps anywhere I like. Oh, I think it's wonderful. Of course you do. You must make one for us for the door to our office upstairs, Iris. She really knows how to come up with unconventional inventions, this girl. Okay. What's the next topic? Meow! Why? Oh, what was that? Wagga hi? Hello? What just happened? What was that? Oh no! Wagga hi's tangled up in your violin. How? I think he thinks it's a toy. No. Oh no, what's he doing to it? Oh dear, Mr. Sholmes' precious violin. Why should I care? What? I shouldn't be surprised. If the cat is a more accomplished musician than I now. Wow. Sholmes, you really need to calm down. Mr. Sholmes really is in poor spirits, isn't he? You noticed. Well, anyway, I'll put it back where it lives, shall I, Hurley? Out of the cat's reach, if possible. Maybe we should assess the damage. It looks fine to me from here. Oh, wait. So this is the violin, is it? It's a Stradivarius, one of the finest violins in the world, made by the renowned Italian luthier, Antonio Stradivari. Oh, I see. It doesn't really look like anything special to me. I happened to pawn it covered in dust, languishing in a pawn shop in a nondescript back alley. The broker had no idea of its value, so I was able to purchase it for a mere 55 shillings. How honorable of you. Well, whatever, man. If he doesn't know, he doesn't know. And until today, it has been my faithful companion in every Paganini-inspired performance I have made. Paganini, I think. I ask you, is there a reason to live in a world devoid of music to tolerate this blanched existence? No! There is none! No. Mr. Sholmes? What, dear madame, what? My thoughts are preoccupied with fancies of release from this dull routine. Well, it's about the violin. It looks very different to normal, don't you think? What do you mean, Miss Susato? Oh, Susie's right! Yes, the tone of the wood is completely different. Did somebody steal his violin and swap it out? And that's not all. I'm sure there was no crack here before. Wait, it's not even the right size, is it? What's this? I'm terribly sorry to have to tell you this, Mr. Sholmes, but that instrument isn't a violin at all. Then what? It's a viola. I believe it's an entirely different instrument called a viola. I knew it! Oh, wow! Who swapped out his violin for a viola? What? Oh, Mr. Sholmes, are you all right? You're right. You are quite right. This isn't my faithful Stradivarius. You're supposed to be smart. Well, he's not, but, you know, I thought he'd notice that. So what, pray, is this piece of stringed flotsam? Not your faithful performing partner, then? Ah, I see what must have happened. You do, Iris? Oh, you know what he did? They were just talking about pawnbrokers, so I bet he pawned off his freaking violin and then came back and bought the wrong instrument because he's a dumbass. Oh, this is just a simple mix-up. Sounds like Iris might be able to tell us exactly what's happened if we ask her. It's obvious if you think about it. Because she just said that he pawns things that he shouldn't because he's dumb. What do you mean by a mix-up, Iris? Well, you see, this viola, I mean, Was at Windy Banks until last week. At the pawnbrokers? Not Mr. Sholmes' beloved musical partner. There's a proverb from the East with which you are no doubt familiar, my dear fellows. Always let a beloved child travel. What? Yes, indeed. Wait. So you sent your beloved violin to the pawnbrokers in the hope that it would experience personal growth? Oh, what a wonderful idea. That's the stupidest thing I've heard of. It's an instrument. Last week, I pawned my great analytoscope in order to release my precious instrument. But it would appear Mr. Windybank mistakenly furnished me with this tawdry fiddle instead. But my ears cannot be deceived by the hollow timbre of this piece of timber. No, but your every sense was deceived by the fact that it just had strings. Yeah, seriously, you're dumb. Ha! A fine state of affairs this is, and why I always say, Mr. Naruhodo, never trust a pawnbroker. They will try to fiddle you every time. I thought you literally said that pawnbrokers are just as trusty as banks. But earlier you told us that you could think of a pawnbroker as an extremely secure vault. Yeah. Did you lie? I lied about that. Come, Mr. Naruhodo, dilly-dallying will get you nowhere. Sorry? Crunching your toast with that vacant aspect, pressing your coffee so obtusely. What? Are you not a little embarrassed by your own conduct, considering the urgency with which we are faced? We must visit Mr. Windybank's broker at once. That's right, isn't it, Mr. Sholmes? Did I even have breakfast, though? I'd like to have breakfast. Precisely, Miss Susato, without a moment's delay. But I haven't finished my bacon and eggs. My dear fellow, surely you do not still intend to crunch your bacon with an increasingly vacant aspect? To press your eggs ever more obtusely? Never press a woman's eggs. All right, say no more. Let's go then. Just eat it really quick. Don't worry, Runo. I'd be happy to heat it up for you again later. Oh, thank you, Iris. As it happens, I am rather curious to see what a British pawnbroker looks like. To the pawnbrokery. Okay. Windybank's pawnbrokery. So this is a British pawnbrokery. Oh my, there's all sorts of tools and contraptions in here that I've never laid eyes on. Ah, Susato-san, and that spark of wonder in your eyes. You can't wait to scour the shelves, can you? I get the impression you enjoy places like this. Oh yes, I don't know why, but seeing such a lot of things I don't understand is a real thrill for me. My dear fellows, let us not forget why we are here. Oh, Mr. Sholmes. We are calling on matters of business, not pleasure. And clearly Mr. Sholmes means business too, judging from the spark of fury in his eyes. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, sir, welcome back. Oops, I didn't want to do that. Did you hear that brazen welcome? Well, yes, we are potential customers after all. We are disgruntled customers, Mr. Naruhodo, and it's time to inform Mr. Windybank of our ire. Come! The fight is afoot! Hi, Mr. Windybank. I'm here to talk to you about the violin that you messed up on. Naturally, you will recall this, which I retrieved from you some days ago. Yes? The second-rate fiddle is not my faithful instrument, Mr. Windybank. The color of the wood is different. It has holes in it. It's not even the same size. A wonderful summary of our observations, Mr. Sholmes. I'm so very sorry, sir. How utterly unforgivable of me. An inexcusable mistake for a pawnbroker. There is only one way to make amends. Oh, are you gonna say you're gonna... Please don't pull a gun out. Please don't get a gun. No! Are you kidding me? No! I shall have to take my own life. I'd rather just have my violin, sir. Like, there's no need to get dramatic, honestly. Well, I don't think that will be necessary, do you? If I may just say one thing before I pop off. Yes? It was you, sir, Mr. Sholmes, who took it upon himself to remove that item the other day, I believe. Sorry? As I recall, I entered the storeroom to fetch your violin when I heard, oh, here it is. You did? He's an idiot. And when I turned to controvert you, you had taken the viola and left, sir. However, there can be no doubt that the blame lies firmly at my own door for allowing you to leave. So I shall not grumble or grouse for any longer. May this guilt die with me. No. Stop, my dear fellow. The fault is mine. Phew. Mr. Windybank, do you do that a lot? It seems like you probably do that a lot. It would appear that the fight is over. I wanted to hold my Wiimotes separate, but now I have to remember that if I put them on my legs, sometimes they slip. I do humbly apologize, Mr. Windybank. Evidently, my questionable disposition precipitated this tragedy. Well, you wouldn't be Mr. Herlock Sholmes without that questionable disposition, now would you? I do believe you may be right, sir. I am an idiot. It's either laugh or cry, I suppose. You are, it must be said, one of my more challenging customers. I need to remind you of the peculiar collection of items you've brought through my door in the past. Oh, peculiar items? In the extreme, ma'am. For example, the unpublished manuscript of an eponymous work, the novels of Herlock Sholmes or such. Oh my, a new full-fledged novel? An unpublished? A story I have yet to read, you mean? God, forgive me! Wait, but before you die, you must tell me more! Wow, that's the spirit? Oh, come on, really? This is this guy's thing. Well, I mean, I must know more. Tell me everything. Oh, Suzato-san is really fired up now. This is one of those things, because there's an Ace Attorney, or Phoenix Wright anime that just covers, like, kind of the first game, sorta. I feel like if this was an anime right now, this part would get banned from TV because this man keeps pulling a gun on himself. Just like the Pokemon episode when they went to the Safari Zone and they banned it because everybody had, like, rifles aimed at children. And then there was that episode with Porygon that made people have seizures, but we don't talk about that. Well, we just did, but don't. It's bad. It's bad. Wow, Suzato-san is really fired up now. Is there really an unpublished story under this very roof? Well, one day the gentleman here brought in an old metal chest, you see. I should like to entrust this to your care for a while, Mr. Windybank. For a chest like that, 1 shilling, sir, not a farthing more. It houses something of great value indeed. The latest manuscript recounting the adventures of one Mr. Herlock Sholmes. That's me. I beg your pardon, a manuscript? You wish to deposit a manuscript? Indeed I do, for I'm confident it'll be quite safe here. And that was that. As such, Mr. Sholmes' latest tale of otherworldly mystery lies dormant in my storeroom. Mr. Sholmes, is that really true? Do I sense that someone doesn't want to talk about this? I continue to pay your fee, do I not? then kindly continue to store my belongings securely. Of course, sir, of course. They're safe and sound with me, I assure you. On my life. This is all very strange. No, you believe me. Like, pawn shop people don't act like this here at all. They're more likely to pull a gun on you than on themselves. I wonder, could I ask you something? A gentleman from the East, I see. Yes, that sable suit. I suppose I could offer you 6 pence for it. Without wishing to offend, the tone is somewhat dull. Sorry? Aha! But for your splendid attire, ma'am, 5 guineas, no less. Dude, that's a huge difference. The colors are exquisite, the design exotic. Eastern artistry at its finest, I say. Oh my, 5 guineas, you say? I don't even know how much they have. How interesting. But I feel as though I've suffered some sort of defeat here. Actually, I was hoping to ask you about your business. I've heard it said that pawnbrokeries are used rather like banks here in London. Yes, sir, indeed. Many of my customers utilize the establishment as you describe. I appraise their items and offer them a proportionate loan in 2 months of secure stowage. That's pretty nice. Hi, Beth. How are you doing today? I hope you and Hermes are doing well. You're going to be your background while you have dinner, and then you have D&D with Spanish friends. Nice. You're doing quite well. I'm glad to hear it. If in that time they repay the original sum to me plus the agreed interest, their items are happily returned. But what happens if they don't pay you the money? Well, then I keep their stuff forever. Then the items are offered for sale in my shop, as you can see on the shelf behind me. So you never sell items before the 2 months have passed then? That's right, ma'am, that's right. Which means some considerable responsibility rests on my shoulders. Should a customer's precious belongings be lost, the only recompense is for me to end it all. That makes sense. Still a little poopy. Oh no, not the stinky kitty poopies. He's got his spirits back. His friend's back. Oh, that's good. You gave him some food. He looked hungry. Aw. Yeah. The very idea of Mr. Windybank is an absurdity. One should never talk of one's demise so casually. This is a man who was telling us all it was a good day to die only this morning. We don't talk about that. And let us not forget that I have already helped you take measures to ensure such a tragedy never occurs. Oh, what sort of measures? Not a lot. I was on the fence about streaming today, partially because when I first woke up at like 8 a.m., I had a bit of a headache, so I was like, oh, I'll just sleep a little bit more to sleep it off. The next time I woke up, it was almost noon, and I still had the headache, so I took medicine at 8, but then I chilled for a bit. I was like, okay, I think we're good to go now. It's probably not going to be a super long stream. I think I'm just going to do the investigation portion for today, but we've already been doing it for, I don't even know how long, honestly. And we still haven't really scratched the surface of whatever the heck is supposed to be going on in this case. And waking up ages later. Yeah. And I always hate doing that because I really don't like sleeping in past like 9 a.m. because I'm like, I could be doing things. But I mean, it's all right. Like, I got some stuff done. I checked the plants. They don't need watering today. I have like 20 tomatoes growing at this point. It's getting kind of ridiculous. And just kind of was relaxing for a bit. So things are pretty good. It's other than waking up kind of late. And I mean, it's the weekend anyway. Like I shouldn't be like go every day, but I always like to feel like I'm being some kind of productive, you know? Yeah, they're getting, like, some of them are pretty big. I think they're gonna be, like, about this big when they're done, and some are about half that size. So I'm gonna assume that I should have a decent harvest within the month, because it's been a month and a half, and they've already, like, I think it took about half a month for them to start like budding and turning into little tomatillos. And now they're starting to really fill out. So yeah, I can't wait. I really can't wait for the first harvest to be like, I'm gonna make tomato sauce and like sliced tomatoes and soups and things. There's gonna be a lot of tomatoes-based stuff. And I think my pepper is very close to being ripe. Like, I think it's about the right size. It's just I know that this is the type that changes like to like a yellow or orange color once it's ripe, I believe. I'll have to double check. But I mean, the pepper's pretty dang big, and then there's some like new ones that are teensy-weensy. So the peppers are popping off too. It's just, there's a lot of activity going on the porch right now. There's some tiny peach-like fruit. Ooh, nice. I know, oh man, where I used to live, they had a peach tree in the backyard, and we had so many peaches. Like I made peach preserves, like a ton of them and all that. And I know my friend Des has a orange tree that I think will start bearing fruit soonish. I'll probably, I'm gonna see if I can make like marmalade and stuff. I kind of want to learn how to do like more preservation stuff with candy, because it's just nice to know. And just orange stuff, I could probably make like fresh orange juice. I just would have to might end up getting a juicer at some point. I have one of the little ones where you smash them down, but that takes a long time to make a decent amount of juice. Yeah. And now we're doing this, and okay, so synopsis really quick. I mean, granted, everybody on YouTube is gonna see. Actually, if I can pause it. We'll be right back. I'm gonna give a synopsis to the other people. Here we go. No, what sort of measures? It's not. Let's just gloss over the fact that I was technically talking about bullshit for 10 minutes, but whatever. I engineered a simple device which Mr. Windybank has installed here in his shop. I call it the Red-Handed Recorder. What? Is that not so, Mr. Windybank? What was that deep sigh about? Yeah, I don't know. The red-handed it's got to be some kind of alarm system? Red-handed, what does that mean? What on earth is a red-handed recorder? Use your eyes, my dear fellow. There are two just below the ceiling. What? Oh, what? But wait. What? What do you mean just below the ceiling? I don't see it. I guess it didn't look up. Gonna be a blue badger music. Yeah. I can see what appears to be a camera attached to some sort of timing device. Very astute. It is indeed a camera furnished with some 100 pieces of celluloid film. And every 30 minutes precisely, the camera automatically records the appearance of the shop. Here, I have an example I can show you. 4 a.m. Oh yes, a print from the camera set to record the activity at the shop counter. I developed a special type of film so sensitive, it produces a crystal clear image, even in darkness. He's so dumb, but in a smart way. Or is he smart in a dumb way? I mean, I guess either way. The spectrum is a little twisted. Really? That's extraordinary. I'm sure that some of the brothels would love some of your extra sensitive low light film. No, it's Andy, shush, it's fine. Technology is amazing. That's extraordinary. Yes, you can clearly see the counter and the door behind it. Look. Okay. So you see, were someone to enter the premises with ill intent, his identity would be summarily exposed. But did you not say the photographic prints were taken at 30-minute intervals? Indeed, as you say, my dear madame. Then what if the incident were to occur in between times? One could only say that would be a cruel twist of fate. Yeah. Yeah, what, Windybank? I must confess your devices have been giving me some cause of distress lately. I beg your pardon, Mr. Windybank. Surely they're anything but distressing. Reassuring is the word. It's the cost of the film, sir. You most graciously placed not one, but 2 cameras in my shop, after all, which means I must pay for nigh on 100 utterly useless prints every single day. I'm afraid the cost of the film will break me before I'm very much older. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is a very special film. Nevertheless, a small price to pay to ensure the safety of my preferred pawnbrokery, no? My dear fellows, we verge on an age where safety and security come at a price. Oh, what is it? Are we talking about like freaking Google or something now? Oh, heaven help us. Big brother? Now then, Mr. Sholmes, allow me to return your precious violin. That looks completely different from what you had. How could you not tell? Oh, the very thing. Thank you, Mr. Windybank. Perhaps this might mark the end of the peculiar items you try to pop, Because if anything were to happen to one of them, this would be the only answer. I really think you have to stop waving that gun around. Someone could get hurt, like me. Fear not! Sorry? I've only loaded a single bullet, so no one but myself could possibly be harmed. That's not reassuring. Yeah, it's not really what I meant. Yeah, this man does this like every 5 minutes. Good day to you then, Mr. Windybank. It's been a pleasure as always, Mr. Sholmes. No, that's just his way, Andy. That's just his way. Oh my God. So, Mr. Naruhodo, now we can explore at last. Or can we? I don't know if I want to explore this place. That man might try to off himself. Look at this. What could this lovely big shiny box be? That, my dear madame, is a music box. Surely you have such things in your own country. Oh, I forget Japan is a backwards third world country without Jesus. Oh my, yes, but I've certainly never seen one so large before. As that's what they all say about your music box. yeah, exactly. It's just like, nothing strange. Shall we listen a while? Yeah, he's just an idiot. Ah, what a sublime sound. It's like the music of angels. I've never heard anything like it before in my life. This particular specimen is of the larger variety commonly found in public houses and restaurants. There's a metal disc inside on which the notes to be played are recorded. Simply by replacing the disc with another, any music you care to imagine can be played, as long as that music is played like a music box and not like actual music. Oh my goodness, what a simply delightful machine. Indeed, though their popularity has waned recently with the development of the gramophone, of course. Science and technology advance at such an overwhelming pace. Yeah, soon you'll have like video cameras all over stores. There seems to be a little door hidden behind that curtain there. That leads to the storage room, where Mr. Windybank keeps articles that are currently in pawn. I see. There's nothing of particular interest inside. I certainly wouldn't recommend any larcenous activity. Recommended or not, it's not something I tend to do. There is but one key, and Mr. Windybank keeps it in his pocket at all times. How do you know that? Before he sleeps, he places it into a small pot, which he slides under his pillow. How on earth do you know about that, Mr. Sholmes? I am a detective, sir. It is my business to know what others do not. I am frequently assailed by information that I neither care for nor wish to retain. Mr. Sholmes, you are a wonder. And the prime suspect if this pawnbrokery is ever burgled. Yeah, he's a peeper. I know you put white powder on your bottom every morning, Mr. Windy Bank. Not that I would tell anybody. Shovels. Why is there just a bunch of shovels? Oh, the desk, never mind. Look at that enormous ledger open on the counter there. Mr. Windybank is, if nothing else, very particular about recording the items he accepts. He'd have to be, otherwise he'd get himself in all sorts of trouble. Might explain the thing that catches my eye far more than the ledger. The gun? This revolver here? Do not entertain even a single thought of pilfering an article herein, my dear fellow. I assure you, Mr. Windybank would not hesitate to draw that weapon with a speed belying his portly size. Oh, you don't mean he'd blow his brains out indeed in recompense for his blunder. Jesus Christ. Well, that's, oh my. And then you'd feel really guilty because you're like, oh, I did that. But in any case, of course we would never do such a thing. How could you even suggest it? Oh, man, I don't think that's how that works. What an assortment of things there are on the shelves here. Crockery, footwear, clocks, watches, almost anything you care to imagine. Those are forfeited items offered for sale by the pawnbroker. What does that really mean, though? When you pawn, or colloquial pop, an item, the broker loans you money against its worth. He stores the item for an agreed period of time, after which the loan must be repaid. If not, he is free to display it in his shop for sale, at a price of his choosing. Oh yes, now you explained it, I'm noticing a little price tags on everything. Of course, simply by paying the agreed interest on the loan, one can extend the period of safekeeping. So you may pawn that black garb of yours without fear, my dear fellow. A treasured university uniform? Never! It embodies my student spirit. Well, it's worth 5 shillings, I guess. All right, well, what's over here? Now, what do you suppose this rather enormous machine does? It seems to have 2 little windows for looking through. Allow me to enlighten you, my dear fellows. What you are looking at is a stereoscope. Fascinating. It is aptly named, I assure you. Look through the eyepieces and see for yourself. Oh, I should be delighted to. Excuse me a moment while I have a look. Just before you do, here is something I should point out. My dear fellows, in order to see the image properly, stereoscopically as it were, you will need to be cross-eyed. However, if that is beyond you, it is of little consequence today. All right then, I'm going to try it. Are they actually going to show her crossing her eyes? Wait, aren't you supposed to look through? Ah! Mr. Naruhodo, you must see at once. Oh, all right then. So I need to be cross-eyed, like if I'm trying to look at my own nose. Oh. What the? I don't believe it. It's just a photographic print, but it seems like you could reach out and touch it. Oh, no, I didn't want to touch that. Oh, where's my other control? I'm still confused. Okay. Yes, the sense of death is startling, is it not? Stereoscopes are one of London's many fads. They're often found in little stalls in the park. People queue for hours to see them. Why? Why are people meddling with such black magic? What? It is no magic, my dear madame. It is, well, science. Far too complicated to explain at present. We shall save this lesson for another day. Cool. Does that mean you don't know? Oh. Well. Look at this. Whatever could it be used for? I have no idea. Ah. What? Wait. There's a small catch here. Look. We're going to open it, aren't we? Oh my, that's amazing. It has some sort of spring-loaded mechanism. Or a bed. I don't know. It's very small. We'll never manage to put it back to the way it was before. What are you two doing? What? Us? Nothing. No, nothing at all. Whatever this device is, it seems to have a pair of little windows to look through. I feel as though I've seen something rather similar to this elsewhere. And so it's a little like viewy thing. Yeah, the lenses you look down, yeah. And it probably displays some kind of image. Yo, is it April 15th? That's not a calendar you could easily miss, is it? 15th April, today's date. Is that, oh. Yes, that's not for sale, I must point out. It is an Eastern-style page-a-day calendar. Every night at midnight, I tear off the front page to reveal the following day's date. Why don't you sleep? The perfect calendar for a tearaway fellow such as yourself, Mr. Windybank. In the front of it and cross your eyes for you or something? Probably. It's probably like a little portable one. Who was it who walked out of here with the wrong violin before? I don't know, Mr. That Man. Well, when the agreed storage period has passed without repayment, articles are forfeited, see? So I have to keep a close eye on the date. Something a pawnbroker's obsession, you might say. I mean, makes sense. Oh yes, I can see you're very dedicated to your job. What? Only 2p for it? That ain't fair, and you know it. The article is barely worth a penny, miss. I cannot offer more. Oh, miss? Hello? Did we just get a customer? It sounds like there's an argument brewing over by the counter. Come on, that can't be right. Have you even had a proper butcher's at it? I've seen all I need to see, young girl. Young girl? Oh. Hello, you look like a street urchin if I've ever seen one. Wait, don't we know her? I'm sure I recognize her. Oh, yes, it's the young lady from Mr. McGilded's trial from 2 months ago. Oh, I forgot about her completely. It's D&D time. I hope you have fun, Beth. Thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out. Have a good time with your friends. Get into situations, hopefully ones that you survive. EGN gave you a confetti button. Everyone is spamming. No, the confetti button. Well, sometimes that happens. Yeah. Enjoy your Dungeons and or Dragons. Her name is Gina Lestrade, my lord. She's a chancer, earns her crust among large crowds, leaving people of their purses. Oh, she's a steely girl. You'll be lurking because they're all noobs, so you don't really have to read. Oh, okay, I got it. What's commonly called a pickpocket. Oh yeah, and she had a gun that shoots dye. She stole that gun from Iris. Hi, Gina. I forgot about you. Gordon Bennett, you lot. Don't pull the gun, please. Stop loading the gun, please. She loaded the gun. Hello, Miss Lestrade. I hope you've been well. Eh? What? You remember me then, do ya? Well, I remember being completely surrounded by smoke, that's for sure. So, what are you doing in here? Down and out like the rest of us? Nothing to eat. Come to pop in the black weasel? Sorry, coat, have ya? That black weasel. Why do people keep calling? Why? There's something about my coat. What is it about this black uniform that makes everyone comment on it? Ah, good day, unless I'm much mistaken. You would be the young pickpocket who stole our experimental smoke grenade launcher. Die! Mr. Sholmes. So, you have something of value to pawn, do you? Allow me to see the article and I shall negotiate with Mr. Windybank on your behalf. Pull the other one. I don't need no help from some stuck-up D. Get out of my business. Go on, or I'll make trouble for you. As you wish, Miss Lestrade. I will happily remove myself from your presence. He's really done it. He's gone. I'm sorry, but as I said, there's really no room for negotiation here. What is that thing he has in his hand? Oh, it's one of those music discs. Some kind of metal disc? Hey, you, go on, leave me alone. Oh, Miss Lestrade, just pretend we aren't here. We shan't be offended in the slightest. Suzato-san can really stand her ground when she wants to. Oh, whatever. It's like we won't be here, but we're gonna talk to you anyway, like we are here. Somehow, I didn't really think you were the sort of person who'd use a pawnbroker, Miss Lestrade. Yeah, well, I am, all right? I'm a Londoner, just like everyone else. That's a problem, is it? No, not at all. It's just that, well, Oh, I get it. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. That thing probably don't even belong to her. Probably got it on the dive, didn't she? Yeah, I can see her written all over your Chevy Chase. What? That's an actor? Well, I might have been thinking something along those lines. You're not going to deny it, Mr. Naruhodo. He's honest, okay? All right, then I'm just gonna come out and ask you straight. Do you pawn things that you steal from other people? Well, I don't know how best to answer that, really. So I won't. Suppose, sometimes. You're not going to deny it either, Miss Lestrade? Suzato, we're not gonna lie to each other. But not this time, all right? I swear. That thing belongs to me. The disc that Mr. Windybank is holding. We should see what he has to say about all this. Okay, examine the man. Mr. Windybank, what exactly is this metal disc that Miss Lestrade has brought in? It seems to have hundreds of tiny little bumps on its surface. Yeah, because it's a music disc. This is a music disc, you see, for use inside a music box. The one that he just explained to you. How did you forget already, you idiot? In a music box? I see, this is the stuff I hate about this game. Where I'm like, you just learned about this. Like, the whole point of getting to this part of the game was examining literally everything in the room. So you know this. You know what this is. But they act like a couple of fucking idiots, like they never have seen it in their life. And I'm like, why do we have to explain everything 2 to 3 times? That just feels like a waste of time, you know? I don't know. I think that's one of the things that kind of grinds on me about these games, and it wears me down after a while. Yeah, well, I mean, I think the disc is on display. If you look, I believe the disc is what you can see through the glass. Because I think that was one of the things they like to do. Obviously, I mean, it's kind of like with record players. The record was out on there, so you could see it, and you could be like, oh, look at this cool thing that's happening. But I mean, it's like we just were explained that a large metal disc with bumps in it is what makes music in a music box. What? You don't even know what a music box is? Eastern a lot ain't too savvy, eh? I know what a music box is. I've just never seen one of these discs before. Except it's like a display! The small protrusions on the metal disc encode the tune to be played by the music box. You simply insert the disc and set the machine going, and beautiful music plays. It's so incredible. Tell us, what tune is on the disc? Well, I'm afraid I couldn't tell you that. Well, then play it. There's so many different types of music box, you see. British-made, German, Swiss. I have no way of knowing which particular machine this disc was made for. Are you? But they're like there's different sizes. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm just like inclined with this kind of technology. I'm like, you just look at it. That's like looking at a 45, which is a tiny disc, and being like, I don't know. Does this go in the big record player or the little record player? The little one, you idiot. I see. That's it in a nutshell. I wouldn't have any customers for an item like this, even if the young lady forfeited it. Really, I'm already offering more than I should at a penny. That's a packet of lies. He told me, did he? Said it was, well... He? Who's he? He? Who? Never you mind, it ain't right, that's all. This worth good money, I know it is. Well then, you'll have to try your luck at another pawnbroker, won't you? Ah! Well, wow, I like, so with this child, you're not gonna apologize and pull your gun out. You're just like, nope, not doing it. She's been in here before, of course, little tatterdemalion. I see, that's, what the hell does that mean? And brought some dubious articles or other with her every single time, I might add. Dubious? What are you trying to say? I'm an honest customer, me. So, there's something dubious about the disc she brought in today? Could it be a dubious disc? You use that to evolve Porygon into Porygon Z, I think. Well, only if it were that simple. Sorry, what do you mean? What she actually brought in was a storage ticket. What? Storage ticket. So, Miss Lestrade has actually come to redeem an article from you today, is that right? Yeah, that's right. A girl like me has lots of stuff one needs stored. All right, yes, that's definitely dubious. The article in question would have been forfeited at midnight tonight, but as she gave me the ticket for it and repaid both the loan and the interest, I was obliged to return the article to her. But what was the article? Do tell us, Mr. Windybank. That is confidential. Oh, little scamp is wearing it, ma'am. Her hat? Scarf? Overcoat. It's the overcoat she redeemed. When she came in, she was nude, but you didn't notice. Oh. What? What's wrong with that? It fits, don't it? I mean, it's mine, so of course it does. So, what about the disc then? How does that come into all this? I didn't even do the voice. I'm like, oh, we've been talking for so long. Oh, the disc is something else. A new article to pawn if the girl and I can agree on a price. We have been streaming for 1 hour and 37 minutes, which means I've been recording this for about 1 hour and 10 minutes. And it feels like we have not figured anything about this chapter at all, other than it's got to do with the pawnbroker. But we got his violin back, which was like the major issue. Now we're just, Gina's here. Maybe it's Gina. I don't know. Like, I feel like I haven't really gotten anywhere. I'm confused. I thought you said that Miss Lestrade brought in a storage ticket today. It was right. Really quite simple. Yes, the child brought me a storage ticket and the money owed on it, as you say. For this heavy black coat, which you returned her care, as I understood it. That's right, yes. And rather unsurprisingly, as soon as the little ragamuffin put this thing on, she went rifling through the pockets. Oh, you mean, What? Don't you know it's rude to stare at a lady? Well, you're not really a lady. You're more like a child or whatever. I see. So it came from the pocket of the overcoat, did it? If you mean this disc, then yes, exactly, ma'am. And she immediately tried to pawn it for quite a high price as well. This is all rather suspicious, I think. Give it up. I was just trying to pawn something like that. Anyone else would. Miss Lestrade, may I ask who deposited the overcoat here in the first place? Well, me. It doesn't appear to be your size. The old man. It's the old man's, all right? Is it Miss Lestrade? Is it Miss Lestrade? Yes, this is definitely all rather suspicious. Wow, you're gonna be suspicious of the thiefy street urchin, huh? Out of my way, please. Hello? Who's this picture postcard English gentleman? Good day to you, ladies. Gentlemen. Wait. What's your problem, eh? There is no problem. As long as you remove yourself, I've a matter to discuss with the proprietor. And if you intend to make a problem of it, I shall see you outside, little girl, for the hiding you deserve. Okay, this man just threatened to beat a child, broad as daylight. Look, ain't it obvious? I ain't talking with him yet. If you think you're such a gent, you should know how to wait in line. Well, you are an impudent little brat, aren't you? As well as a pickpocket. Eh? Who are you? How do you know who I am? The question is, how do you not know who I am? You haven't the courtesy to even remember the faces of your victims, it seems. What? You mean from you? Broker. Yes, sir. I believe this filthy pocket thief has just redeemed an article from you. No? Yes, The article in question belongs to me. I demand for it to be returned at once. Oh my. Well. Oh, now that's a lie. What are you trying to pull? Give me back my overcoat, you wastrel. And needless to say, any music box discs, too. No, you can't have it. You just can't. It's the old man's, or it was. Now it's mine. Goodness, Mr. Naruhodo. Yeah, I'm confused, too. This is a very awkward situation. Yeah, we should leave. Yeah, I think perhaps we should hear both sides of the story in a little more detail. Oh my gosh, there's so much already. Miss Lestrade, is what the gentleman is saying? What do you think? It's all lies, ain't it? Obviously. I swear on me life, I ain't never laid eyes on that dandy before. Let's hear it now, you little ragamuffin. You stole it, didn't you? That ticket you brought in here just now. No, I swear it. I swear to God. I don't know. Barely an hour ago, I was walking along the street, minding my own business, when this little gotterling ran into me. I knew at once what had happened. I've been robbed yet again, I thought to myself. Those wretched pickpockets. Yet again? Oh yes, as you can see, I'm a man of impeccable style. This isn't the first time I've been targeted by these back-slum scoundrels. Now then, relinquish my overcoat. Come along now, Miss Lestrade. Give the good gentleman his coat back. If you're going to cause trouble, I shall have no choice but to call the police. Hold on, why does everyone think it's me? Just look at this dandy cove, and you think I'm the dodgy one? I'm sorry, but no one's going to believe you. Well, what about evidence? Yeah, where's your evidence I've stolen something, eh? Come on, let's see it. Oh, I have evidence, naturally. It's my word against yours. You what? Evidence. What's the evidence? Evidence that the article Miss Lestrade redeemed actually belongs to this gentleman? Of course, we need to consult Mr. Windybank's ledger to know the truth. We'll be able to look up the name of the person who deposited the article in the first place. Yes, brilliant! I'm very sorry, but I'm afraid that won't be possible. Oh. I never ask customers' names. That's a strict policy of mine. That's the stupidest policy of yours. But why not? Well now, as you can imagine, some of my customers have circumstances to consider. A great many of them prefer to maintain their anonymity. Yes, I see. It's still stupid, though. But then how can you know if an article belongs to the person asking to redeem it? Oh, it's quite simple. Good sir, might I trouble you for the watchword associated with the article in question? Of course, it's Professor. Yes, that's right. On all the evidence we need, this gentleman is rightful owner of the article, without doubt. A watchword? Interesting. Watchwords. So, about these watchwords, Mr. Windybank. As I just explained, I never ask customers' names when they deposit items with me. There are many reasons why. Reasons why that certain customers would like to keep their activities secret. Hi, over there. That wasn't exactly a subtle glance at Mr. Sholmes now, was it? Great detectives have no dark secrets. None at all. Susato, please. They definitely do. Yes, well, anyway, that's why I always ask for a watchword whenever I accept a new article. In many ways, it's like the secret combination of numbers used to unlock a vault. The date of deposit, a description, and a watchword uniquely identify each item. And of course, then I give the storage ticket to the customer. When someone comes to redeem something, I ask for the ticket and the watchword. And if that someone tells you the correct watchword, you return the article. That's right, sir, yes. Just as soon as the requisite fee is paid. And I have supplied you with the information you require already. But for the avoidance of doubt, the article in question is an overcoat deposited 2 months ago on the 15th of February. With a watchword of Professor. All perfectly correct information, sir. But, ow! Really, this is beyond a joke now. There's no further room for doubt. Ugh. Let's examine the man. Picture postcard gentleman. Here to the girl with the watchword and the ticket, and now are believing the fancy asshole. Yeah, exactly. Because who would believe an urchin? Obviously, she stole it. Excuse me, but who are you? One would expect the inquirer to introduce themselves first. Though clearly you're not British, so perhaps our ways are foreign to you. Like you, shifty-eyed foreigner. Oh, sorry, yes, we're from the Empire of Japan. We're studying here. Oh, yes, Japan. I've heard talk of the place. It sucks. What are you doing? Its inhabitants live on some fiery brown-colored soup dressed up with exotic spices. Are you talking about miso soup? You might be thinking of somewhere else. And what was that theatrical gesticulation about? Perhaps. Anyways, if you are a gentleman, sir, you offer your name first before inquiring after the name of another. Of course, yes. I'm Ryanosuke Naruhodo. I'm a lawyer. Well, a student of law, really. My name is Susato Mikotoba. I am Mr. Naruhodo's assistant. I see. I'm not giving my name because I don't trust foreigners. My name is Benedict. Yes, Eggert Benedict. I hate him. Enchante. He's so refined in how he holds himself and how he speaks, but his name is suspicious. Also stupid. Now to the matter at hand. Please stop. My overcoat! Return it at once! To someone with the style to carry it off. I don't know, I think it looks pretty good on her. Grr. Every move he makes, every breath he takes. I can't stand watching him. Okay, so... Next. Oh! He looks dumb. So let that be an end to the matter. And thank you for your custom, Mr. Eggert Benedict, sir. Stop. That doesn't match at all. With such reasonable rates of interest, I may even decide to come back. That's why I ate grown-ups. Just because I'm a diver, everyone thinks that makes me a liar. And the contents of the coat pockets, if you please, broker. But of course, sir, here's the disc for you. Just this one? Pardon, sir? I was expecting another. That is, I deposited another. Another disc? Oh dear. I regret to inform you, sir, that was deposited with... What was deposited with me was merely the overcoat. The disc happened to be in one of the pockets, but I was completely unaware of it until now. So, Gutterling, you're hiding more of what's rightfully mine, are you? Says who? I don't know nothing about it. Very well. Oop. Then I shall bid you farewell. Say goodbye to style. Wait a minute, that disc is mine. Art! What do you think you're doing, you little tramp? You've drawn blood, you filthy animal. Oh my, yes, there's blood on the disc. It's because of all those sharp little bumps. The man must have scratched his finger on them, but he's wearing gloves. I found it first, all right? I mean, it belonged to me old man. So you're not having it. Oi, you take it. Me? If I hang on to it, they'll have it off me again, so you keep hold of it. Miss Lestrade, why is this disc so important to her? The music box disc has been entered into the court record. Metal disc used to play music in a mechanical music box. The piece of music, which remains unidentified, is stored on the, yeah, it also has blood on it. You there in the black livery. Hand that disc to me at once, please. Actually, let me check the court. What do I have in here? This is all I have. Examine. Blood. Look at all the little bumps on the disc. They're so tiny. Yes, the protrusions are called pins, and they pluck the teeth of the comb to make notes. And just on the edge, there's a small amount of blood. Yes, the blood of that mysterious Mr. Eggert Benedict. When Miss Lestrade tried to grab the disc from him, the pin scratched his fingers, it seems. Like when you're grating some daikon radish and you accidentally catch your finger. Ow! Ouch! Just thinking about it hurts. It puts me off eating radish. Yeah, don't talk about that. Okay. Whoa! For McGilded? Oh, there's a little scrap of paper on the reverse side of the disc. Look. And scribble a word or two. It looks like somebody's name. For McGilded. McGilded? It couldn't be. But it is, Mr. Naruhodo. A name I shall never forget as long as I live. But why? Why is his name on this? Yeah, the verse for uh-oh. Uh-oh. We learned something. Uh-oh. Bad news bears there. No, don't. He's lying. Oh, God. Oh, grown-ups are all liars. I mean, you're not wrong. Especially if we're going off of, like, persona logic. What do I do now? How am I going to resolve this? What if I pay the money? Mr. Windybank is clearly at a loss here. We have to do something before he reaches for that revolver of his. Hey, Herlock, can you help me out? Mr. Sholmes, what are you examining with such keen interest in there? As you enjoy a bar of caramel, I see. So, you found me at last, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry? After that young pickpocket sent me on my way, I was forced to lurk in the shadows, cruelly ostracized as the rest of you partook in the jovial atmosphere of fellowship. I had nothing to occupy my mind, but was too ashamed to let society see what my downfall had done to me. So, feigning mock interest, I pretended to examine the tedious trinkets in this desolate place, whilst, as you shrewdly observed, gnawing on the only friend I have left, this 7% solution of caramel. Pray, do you claim to understand the depths of my despair, Mr. Naruhodo? But how could you? I was so lonely, so desperately lonely. Then, why on earth didn't you just rejoin the conversation? Things have gone from bad to worse here, you know. Yes, I overheard much of your conversation, or rather, in my craving for human contact, my ears devoured every word that was uttered. You really were sad, weren't you? Poor Mr. Sholmes, I feel simply awful for you. It would seem that my inferences are correct. Oh, surely you're not about to tell us that you've solved the entire case once again. My dear madame, sometimes I wonder, were my genius for deduction to be commoditized, how much could I pawn it for? It seems Mr. Sholmes has had another one of his flashes of inspiration, which means he's wrong again. But who knows if it'll help resolve the situation between Miss Lestrade and the mysterious gentleman. What's the right thing to do here? Listen to the deduction. Obviously. Well, Miss Lestrade, it would appear you find yourself in something of a predicament. Where in the blue blazes have you been, eh? Pardon? When a lady's in trouble, a true gent's supposed to be there to help. Straight away, not an hour later. Harsh. Oh, please stop flourishing. And who, pray tell, are you? Mr. Eggert Benedict, you have in my eyes a veritably encyclopedic array of curiosities about your person. Nevertheless, there are two immovable conclusions I have drawn. I beg your pardon? The first is this. The true reason for your visit to this pawnbrokery today is something you have not yet revealed. And the second is this. A considerable crime is in contemplation, one you will orchestrate with an intent to steal a vast sum of money. Well, Mr. Benedict, what say you to my deductions? Ow! He's turned as white as a hard-boiled egg. Ah, this is a joke now, is it? It would seem that once again, Mr. Sholmes has made a flawless deduction. Just who do you think you are, sir? Ah, yes, as I hoped. That is precisely the pained expression I was looking for. So, shall we begin? The time has come for another Herlock Sholmes logic and reasoning spectacular. The Great Deduction. The game is afoot. Topic 1. Mystery Man's aim. Conclusion. Oh, wait. First of all, we must ask ourselves on what business you ventured to this pawnbrokery today. You claim to have followed this pickpocket here, having the redemption ticket stolen from you on the streets. But that is most certainly a lie. The real truth is something quite different, as revealed by that which you hold in your hand. Yes, what brought you to the shop here in the first place is the staff recruitment flyer. Yeah, that's wrong. The piece of paper in your hand is a staff wanted advertisement for this very shop. Yet even the most unobservant would soon realize that a man of your appearance has no need of such employ. In other words, there is some ulterior motive for your actions. The cane with which you unwittingly clutch to your person exhibits an incontrovertible contradiction. What utter rot? I've had this cane for years. The contradiction of which I speak of course, is the missing ferrule. No, I mean, it's actually the fact that, AG are not, if his name is Eggert Benedict, then it should be EB, but that's not right. That could also stand for Electronics Boutique. You guys remember before GameStop became the only game store, when Electronics Boutique and Babbage's and the other used game places roamed the land back in the day of the Earth when the dinosaurs were around? The end of any walking cane should be terminated with a metal ferrule to protect the wooden tip. And yet, detailed analysis shows the wooden tip of this stick to be utterly bare. Dang, Sholmes is all up in this man's tip. Therefore, there's only one conclusion. The rod that you hold in your hand, which appears to be a walking cane, is in fact no cane at all. That's actually really stupid. You recoil, sir. Is something wrong? Yeah, it's a spectre. Yeah, And in your recoiling, you inadvertently facilitate the answer of the next conundrum to present itself. Namely, what is the truth behind the rod you bear? Yes, your reaction betrays the truth. The handle which you evidently would like to conceal is the key to understanding this riddle, you see. From the moment I saw it, my suspicions were aroused. Oh. What walking cane demands such a stout handle, I mused. But of course, as I said, this is no walking cane. No, that rod is the broken handle of a shovel. What? Are you insane? And now, having determined this undeniable truth, the conclusion is clear. Your true motive for coming here was to get a shovel, was to take employment at this establishment in order to excavate the ground beneath the premises. What a calculated crime you have conceived, sir. A wickedly calculated crime. Yeah, time to point out a lot. To tunnel underneath the pawnbrokery. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. No, there's still more. I forgot. Now, Mr. Benedict, let us continue. For we must expose the details of this elaborate crime you have in the planning. This is utterly absurd. You suggest that I, a gentleman, intend to excavate the ground beneath this pawnbrokery with a broken shovel? What on earth do you propose I could expect to find there? Some long-forgotten treasure, I suppose? I mean, that's exactly it. Save for such a fanciful theory, what possible reason could I have to do as you say? Oh, but there is ample reason. As you are only too well aware, Mr. Benedict. And your furtive glance is more telling than I could have ever hoped. What? Let us consider what would motivate a man to infiltrate a shop such as this and covertly dig beneath its floor. The answer is revealed by the council note on the counter to which your eyes were inadvertently drawn. This letter gives notice of public works to be carried out in the local area. And according to the enclosed plan of the upcoming sewage works, beneath the shop runs a sewer that adjoins another one. One that runs under the bank on the opposite side of the road. Madness has entered the sewers now, has it? By excavating the ground beneath our feet, you would gain access to the waterway. In that flows in the very close proximity to the great vault of a financial institution opposite. What are you? In summary, sir, you devised a master plan to pull off an elaborate bank robbery by dint of the underground tunnels. Master plan? Which brings us to the last and final chapter of this lurid scheme. With what plunder did the thief hope to make off from the underground vault of the bank? Are you quite serious? Having consulted with Scotland Yard some days ago, I happen to know the answer. But naturally, the answer is no secret to you, is it, Mr. Benedict? I have no idea what you're talking about. Allow me to present a rather interesting piece of evidence. You see, this picture postcard tells us all we need to know. Postcard of the Great Exhibition. I'm afraid you've quite lost me. Currently in the final stages of preparation, the Great Exhibition will soon be underway. And the government has provided extra funds to complete its centerpiece, the Crystal Tower. Oh, from Final Fantasy. Funds that currently sit in the vault of the bank on the other side of the road. Pardon? Yes, the considerable crime you have been contemplating is the theft of that which sits in the vault of that bank, the special reserve funds for the Great Exhibition. Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel right now. I'm doing this for like 10 minutes. Of course, that is top secret police information, so please keep it under your hat. Oh my, come on. Come on, bro. Thus concludes the Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this pawn-broking puzzle. I'm like, that's wrong. It's time for a dance of deduction. Mr. Sholmes, some of that was really stupid. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, an impressive upbeat deduction for a detective racked with loneliness. Would you not agree? Shouldn't it be racked with a W, though? Not racked with just an R. Was it true what you said about the bank over the road and what it has in its vault? Indeed, though few know of its existence, it is one of the government's most closely guarded secrets until now. Gregson told me in the strictest confidence. But you just announced it to everyone here, rather loudly, in fact. And if it's such a big secret, how would Mr. Benedict have come to find out about it? There can be only one explanation for that. Clearly it is because the man is a criminal. But what if he didn't know anything about the money in the vault? If he is a criminal, as you said, then buying a brand new shovel is sure to be the first thing he does now that you've revealed the secret. Oh. Or if he doesn't, maybe Mr. Windybank will. He already has plenty of shovels here, after all. Oh my life, I assure you I'm not so unscrupulous. Yeah. Well, hopefully this has taught you a valuable lesson. Sensitive information must be handled with the utmost of care. One can never be sure that someone privy to secrets won't disclose them, and once the word is out, it's out. Wow, is that how you... Perhaps I'll think twice before confiding in you next time, Mr. Sholmes. An excellent idea, Mr. Naruhodo, an excellent idea. I'm the worst. Well then, Mr. Naruhodo, you know what to do, I'm sure. Yes, let's listen to that great deduction again. See if we can massage it into shape. Very well then. Let us start once more from the beginning of Herlock Sholmes' magnificent logic and reasoning spectacular. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Okay. Follow this or that. Real truth is quite different. Staff recruitment flyer. Okay, yeah. So by Mr. Sholmes' reasoning, Mr. Benedict came here in order to apply for a job so he could dig down through the floor. Yes, in an attempt to tunnel into the sewers to gain access to the money in the vault of the bank across the road that we didn't know about until just now. But he wouldn't get very far with a broken shovel, would he? No, I think it's fair to say his motives lie elsewhere. Question is, where? What did Mr. Benedict hear at this particular point what did bring him here? I was like, here? That's not how you spell here. Was it the chocolate? Was it the flyer? Was it the skull? Oh yeah, the angle. Staff recruitment flyer. Oh, well, scribbled writing. I'm glad that, yeah. Oh, wait, what about that? Ooh, cactus. Look at all this stuff we can see. Oh, it's a picture of the, oh. Look at all the scribbled notes on the back of the flyer here. I don't believe it. What is it? Listen to what it says. Name, Gina Lestrade. Height, 5'2". Green cap, scruffy waistcoat, grubby white shirt, blue satchel, ragged. It's a detailed description of Miss Lestrade. Goodness. There's even a sketch of her, hat and all. Although if he showed it to her, she'd fire that smoke grenade launcher in his face for sure. And look, the details of the shop have been written down here too. Windy Banks Pawnbrokery, Baker Street, redemption deadline, 15th April, which is today's date. Why would Mr. Benedict have all that information scrawled on the back of that piece of paper? Info about Miss Lestrade.
Take that!
It's on the back of the staff recruitment flyer. Yes, what brought you to the shop? Yeah, it was the information. Yes, what brought you to the shop? The first place was info about Miss Lestrade. Quite so, my dear fellow. It would appear that the writing and sketch on the reverse of the flyer pertain to the pickpocket Miss Lestrade and to Mr. Windybank's pawnbrokery here. Ah! You originally told us that you had merely given chase after Miss Lestrade stole the redemption ticket from you. But that, sir, is a thinly veiled lie. It is the information on the back of the flyer that led you here today, by which I mean here to Windy Bank's Pawnbrokery, and today, the redemption deadline of that overcoat. So you waited outside for the young girl matching the description that you have written down to arrive. And you have gone to some lengths to hide the reason for your pursuit of Miss Lestrade. In other words, there's some ulterior motive for your actions, yeah. Yeah, an incontrovertible contradiction. Yeah, no, it does. Yeah, you had this cane for years, have you? Missing from, that's not, I mean, it's so obvious. It's so obvious what it is. What's a ferrule? It's a metal cap. Yeah, we said that. That makes a nice clacking sound on the pavement. Yes, exactly. And Mr. Sholmes is right. It appears to be missing on this cane. It doesn't actually look broken, does it? No, it doesn't. Though the gentleman certainly did recoil when Mr. Sholmes identified the cane as suspicious. In other words, there's some secret about the cane that Mr. Benedict would rather we don't know. I don't know, maybe it's the initials at the top. Let me fucking touch it. It's that. Dog, come on. That's AG. That's got nothing to do with his name. Look here, Mrs. Otto. There's some letters on the handle. Oh, yes. Those must be initials, I think. In the West, it's customary for people to engrave their belongings with the first letters of their names. So Herlock Sholmes would be HS, you mean? That's right. And the initials on this cane, obviously... Oh, AG. Why does it feel as though that's not quite right? Because it's not. Do you know the alphabet? Initialing.
Take that!
Initialing. The contradiction which, of course, is the initialing. Click. The contradiction of which, yeah. A most astute observation, wouldn't you say, Mr. Eggert Benedict? We are led to believe, sir, that your initials are EB. Yet, in a most possessive manner, you have in your grasp a cane bearing the initials AG. An incontrovertible contradiction indeed, would you not agree? No! You're wrong! This cane isn't... It's not what? You said before that you had this cane for years. So don't try to tell us that you just borrowed it from a friend or found it in the park. In short, you're stupid. Though you hold yourself to be a gentleman, you have withheld your true name. You recoil, sir. Is something wrong? And in your recoiling, it inadvertently facilitate the answer to your next conundrum to present itself. Namely, what is the truth behind the rod you bear? Yes, your reaction betrays the truth. The handle which you evidently would like to conceal is the key to understanding this riddle. Consider the bare bones of what happened here. Miss Lestrade redeemed that fine-looking overcoat. Now a mysterious man has appeared, introducing himself with a fake name and claiming that the overcoat belongs to him. But we know that he actually identified Miss Lestrade from a written description, which suggests that everything else he's told is untrue. So what we need to do here is somehow prove that the overcoat cannot possibly belong to him. The handle, which evidently is key to understanding this riddle. Split seam. Oh, the seam on the shoulder there is coming apart. Look. So it is. You know, a moment ago when Mr. Benedict was surprised by something that was said, I thought I heard him make a rather strange noise. It sounded a bit like a tiny growl. And now I think it was probably the sound of the seam ripping open. If you look closely, it does seem to be a very tight fit. The sleeves are stretched to bursting, and he wouldn't have a hope in fastening it at the front. If he were to run around it, I'm sure the whole thing would fall apart. That I'd like to see. Sorry? So how can we make Mr. Benedict run around? It's really giving this some thought. It is a rather strange handle for sure. Yeah, certainly unusual for a gentleman's cane. I expect to see such a cane being twirled charmingly by its owner as he skips merrily down the street. You? Something has just occurred to me. We have a shovel back in our office, don't we? Yes, you're right, and its handle is exactly the same shape as the cane's. Here we go. I'm starting to wonder if it's not actually a cane at all, but a spade. Mr. Sholmes' deductions are curiously compelling, aren't they? I feel like I need to show the split seam.
Take that!
A split seam, which you evidently would like to conceal, is the key to understand. Yeah, okay. Ah! Yes, because the overcoat is rather obviously a poor fit. Having forced it over your broad shoulders, the seam is already breaking apart. My suspicions were aroused from the outset. When you so baldly lied about your name and so boldly waylaid this pickpocket. Arg! This catalog of untruths has all been for one very specific purpose. To steal the article that the young girl redeemed from Mr. Windybank. Arg! But what really irks me is this. The considerable crime I initially imagined has been considerably curtailed. Yeah. To abscond with a redeemed item. Now, Mr. Benedict, let us continue. For we must expose the details of this elaborate crime you have been planning. This is utterly absurd. You suggest that I, a gentleman designed to wheeze to filch some tawdry article of pawnage. Have you forgotten that I redeemed the article in the proper manner using the watchword? Had I not been the one to deposit it in the first place, how could I possibly have known the relevant details? Yes, c'est pas. maybe you listened in. Oh, but the watchword can be discovered. As you are only too well aware, Mr. Benedict. On your foot. Okay, yeah. What? Yeah, how could you have learned it? Not the council notice. And the direction of the deduction must change rather dramatically now, I think. Yes, no more talk of tunneling into the sewers, which is a pity, because all of that sounded rather exciting. Anyway, you can't deny that this mysterious gentleman did know the watchword. Yes, Professor. If you didn't know that word, Mr. Windybank would have never allowed you to redeem the article. Or, looking at it another way, if you did know that word, Mr. Windybank would allow you to redeem that article, whether it was yours or not. So the question is, could this gentleman have found out the watchword somehow? Nope. Look at this, Miss Susato. It appears to be a memo that Mr. Windybank scribbled to himself. Let's see, what does it say? Oh, Professor! He's a fucking dumbass. Mr. Windybank must make note of the watchwords that his customers gave him right before their eyes. And in alarmingly clear script as well. Is that clear? I don't know which one of those words says Professor. Oh dear, I don't know where to look. Who knows what other secrets I might see?
Take that!
The method is revealed by the notelet on which stuff is, yeah. The method is revealed to, yeah. Yes, the broker here follows the same procedure whenever a customer comes to redeem an article. He asks the customer for the watchword and then writes down the response uttered on a notelet he has on hand. Then he consults his ledger and confirms whether or not the watchword matches that of the article in question. I would expect nothing less of a diligent pawnbroker. But his diligence clearly has its disadvantages. What are you talking about? It is increasingly apparent that you were present in the shop before your accusation against Miss Lestrade. In all likelihood, you followed her inside and then observed her talking to Mr. Windybank. When the diligent broker made a note of the watchword as his common practice, you observed him writing the word Professor on the notelet beside the ledger. And that, sir, was the master plan you devised to steal the pawned article from the young Miss Lestrade. Master plan? Which brings us to the at last to the final chapter of this lurid scheme. We're almost there, Andy. Almost there. Why would you go to such lengths to redeem that particular article from this pawnbroker? Quite serious? For an ill-fitting overcoat hardly seems to justify the effort, much less a worthless music box disc. But naturally, you had a very good reason to make them yours, didn't you, Mr. Benedict? I have no idea what you're talking about. Allow me to present a rather interesting piece of evidence. You see, the picture postcard tells us all we need to know. The articles we're talking about are the overcoat and the music box disc that were in one of the pockets. According to Mr. Windybank, isn't even worth a penny. Yet this man went to such lengths to steal them. Why? I wonder if perhaps we already have the evidence we need to explain it, Mr. Naruhodo. Could we, really? Yeah, we do. We do.
Take that!
Music box disc, because of the fact that, and I checked it out, I think you had to check it first. You see, the music box disc tells us what we need to know. What's that on the back? It reads for McGilded. Garg! Mr. Magnus McGilded, the unfortunate philanthropist who perished in curious circumstances at the Old Bailey 2 months ago. A prominent man in London, though his lone mongering demonstrated a distinct lack in scruples. So, you're an associate of his, are you? Or perhaps a subordinate? Mr. McGilded was a man of unusually small stature. In fact, he was precisely the right size for that overcoat that you've squeezed yourself into. Dog! Your true identity remains shrouded in mystery, Mr. Eggert Benedict, but the final conclusion is crystal clear. The reason you came to this pawnbrokery today was to retrieve an article left behind by the late Magnus McGilded. Disc. Arg! What, are you his son? Well, no, because then his name would have been like something. To acquire an item deposited by Mr. McGilded. What is on that music disc? Deduction complete. Elementary. Ah, we did it. Well, well, Mr. Magnus McGilded. Not a name I expected to hear in these circumstances. Mr. Sholmes, I'm afraid there's something very troubling on my mind. Pray tell, Miss Susato. Well, according to what Mr. Windybank told us earlier, today was the final day on which the coat could have been redeemed, was it not? Yes, ma'am, that is correct. Today would have been the day... Today would have been precisely 2 months since it was first deposited. Today's the 15th of April, so 2 months ago today. Correct, the 15th of February, sir. That's right. It's all carefully recorded in my ledger. Deposited at 10:30 p.m., I see. What? But that suggests... Yes, 15th February is precisely the day on which the omnibus murder took place. And 10:30 in the evening is precisely at the time at which the terrible events were unfolding. Suggestive is not the word. It would seem the matter is entirely beyond coincidence. You are, of course, at liberty to make whatever outlandish deductions you choose. However... Whoa! I must insist that you hand over the music box disc now. That man has a gun all of a sudden. He is no joke. It would be a terrible shame for you to return to your native land in a box. Ugh, what do I do? Time to save the game, because I think I'm about to get shot. There are some things a man must protect at all costs. This may well be one of those things. Then again, it may not. Ah! Mr. Windybank! This is my shop. I can't allow any harm to come to my customers. If that were to happen, I should have to take my own life. Mr. Windybank, no! All right, that's enough. Who? Yay! Inspector Gregson! He doesn't have his fish and chips today. Inspector? That's right, sunshine. The alarm was raised on one of my dedicated emergency lines, so we got here as fast as we could. Now what's all this about, eh? Oh, praise be, you're here at last. I was moments away from forfeiting my own life in my very own establishment. Put away the gun, Benedict. It would seem you have the upper hand. Yeah? Oh, you've been relieved of that coat. Oh, there's his fish and chips. Right, you lot have got some explaining to do. I don't appreciate being bothered with some petty argy-bargy. Petty? Mr. Windybank has very nearly met his end. Yeah, by his own gun, as far as I can tell. Oh, dear. And the whole of Britain could meet with its end if I don't get to the bottom of the case I'm supposed to be working on. What on earth is the case, Inspector? Spare no details, Gregson. I might have said a little too much. No matter, it's nothing to do with you lot. Anyway, sir, you're going to have to come with me down to the station. But of course, Inspector. Arg! He's getting away! Get after him, lads! Whistle the beat officer, too. Sir! Oh, wow. But he went to the side that the door was not. There's been a spate of thefts at pawn shops around here recently, so we fitted emergency buttons underneath the counters for brokers to let us know when there's trouble. Oh, Inspector, I was very worried for a while. Very worried indeed. Now then, Mr. Permanently in Mourning. Oh, yes? I'll be taking that whatever it is of McGilded's down to the yard, thank you very much. So hand it over. Oh, yes, of course. I'll give it to the real police. No, don't give it to him. It's mine, it is. That is mine. I'm sorry, miss, but anything belonging to McGilded has to be taken in as evidence now. As evidence? If the police demand something as evidence, my dear fellow, we have no choice but to capitulate. It's all yours, Inspector. Ugh. It's okay, Gina. We'll get it back once we figure everything out. And so we handed Mr. McGilded's disc over to Inspector Gregson, and were summarily turfed out of the shop and onto the street. Oh my God. That in itself was that was a lot. Save your current progress. So there's more stuff to, I mean, I knew the McGilded stuff would come around and bite us in the ass at some point, but oh, goodness gracious. So we know that's McGilded's coat, and there's a music box for him that has something on it. But I mean, it's a music, but it's not going to have words. It's just going to have a tune. But maybe the tune leads to some kind of evidence. Yeah, we haven't got, I know. It's investigation part 2. That was only investigation part 1. And that took us over 2 hours just for investigation part 1. I don't know how long this is, but I'm already tired, guys. Oh, like I said, this is going to be a shorter one anyway. And plus, I just record each of the parts. So, yeah. Holy crap. But that was a gauntlet just by itself. And we don't even know who this man is. We just know his initials are AG, and he was trying to get overcoat. Like we're uncovering the seedy underbelly of London or whatever.